Hey, it's 7 o'clock and it's Thursday, and you know what that means. It's the Tampa Native Show. Hey guys, who's going to be in studio with us tonight?
Janet Cruz.
Absolutely. Tampa's very own state representative,
That's right.
Miss Janet Cruz. So, right there by your TVs, get ready to call in, because the Tampa Native Show starts right now.
Come here. Let me tell you something. I remember Tampa, the way she used to be, the places we would run to, the faces we would see. Yes, I remember Tampa, those precious memories, a city rising on the move, a simple yet progressive groove. I remember Tampa, and she remembers me. Yeah. She remembers me.
Welcome to the Tampa Native Show. Stay tuned now for the fastest 60 minutes in cable broadcast history. Live from the studios at TBCN, the home of the Tampa Native Show. Join your hosts, Mario Nunez, the 15-Minute Girl, and Steve Canella, as they celebrate growing up in Tampa. From Shock Armstrong to Shakey's Pizza, from Braddock Street to Buffalo Avenue. Get ready to call in and tell us your stories, because sharing your memories has never been this much fun. And now, Mario Nunez, the 15-Minute Girl, and Steve Canella.
She remembers me.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Tampa Native Show. You know, it's the only show of its kind anywhere in the known universe, as far as we can tell. My name is Mario Nunez, and in just a few minutes, we're going to join Janet Cruz in conversation. But for the moment, let me introduce you to my esteemed colleagues here. This is the 15-Minute Girl. I'm a little tongue-tied because I got to be honest with you. I got to be honest with you. I'm kind of excited. Yes. We've been talking to Janet just before going on the air, and she hadn't seen the opening to the show yet. So she's excited, and we're feeding off of that excitement. Hello. This is the 15-Minute Girl, and right next to her is Tampa Steve. And you know, we do this each and every week on Thursdays. We're so happy that you've chosen to join us tonight. For those of you that are joining us for the very first time, we'll be here every Thursday, so be sure to look in on us. And for those of you that are always there on Thursday nights at 7, thank you. Thank you for the confidence that you have in us and for being our bestest fans and our best buddies. Hey, listen, we've got to be upfront and tell you that we understand the awesomeness that is the responsibility of the Tampa Native Show. And we don't take any of this lightly. I mean, when we put together a show for you guys, it's with the intent of taking you and throwing you in that time machine that we've built for you guys and taking you back each and every week. Yep. And tonight, because we have Janet with us in studio and she hasn't done a lot of this yet, we're excited to go through it all over again for the first time.
Aren't we though?
It's sort of like, you know, when you've been doing something for a little while and all of a sudden somebody new comes into the picture, it's like you're doing it all over for the first time, man.
Oh, I know.
New fun.
It's
new
awesome.
fun. Yeah. Well said, 15-Minute Girl. Yeah. Hey, let's talk a little bit about our sponsors. Can we do that?
Let's do that.
Because you know what? Without our sponsors,
we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, we sure wouldn't. And we count on their generosity. And some of these people here, you might even know them. Let's talk about Castillo's Cafe and Catering right there on Armenia, just a little bit north of Maine. That's Geeky and Rao. Thank you so much, Geeky and Rao. Gulf Tile. How many of you know a little bit about Gulf Tile? Thank you so much.
Legacy sponsor.
Legacy sponsors. PJ Testa Accounting, South Tampa Chiropractic Clinic, Cafe Caribe, who just joined us recently, Montaro's Ristorante, also in the heart of West Tampa, the Tampa Yankees. We got something to talk about with the Tampa Yankees coming up pretty soon. PR Syndication, thank you so much. Nate's Photo. How about Gino's Restaurant Bar and Grill? And of course, Joe and Sons Olive Oils. Yes. You know, without their generosity, we couldn't do this show, so thank you. And we're always looking for new sponsors. So if any of you out there have a business or know someone who has a business and would like to join our family of sponsors, we're taking applications.
And if you want to learn more about our sponsors, go to tampanativeshow.com, click on Visit Our Sponsors, and you'll see all the sponsor logos, and you click on them, they're hyperlinked, so it'll take you directly to their websites too. So definitely check that out. And our email address for tonight's show is every show, by the way, not just tonight.
Thank you, Steve.
Show@tampanatives.com. That's show@tampanatives.com.
Janet's making us nervous tonight.
Yeah, no, we're just having, we're all giddy. We're all giddy. She's going to be here in just a minute. But what we like to say here on the show, too, is not only visit our sponsors on the website, but visit our sponsors.
Yes.
Get in your car
right.
and go over there. And when you walk in the door, don't just walk in the door timidly, man. Open that door and say, hey, I'm a Tampa Native Show fan.
Right.
We love to hear from you. All right. Now, we talked a little bit about the Tampa Yankees. We've got a graphic we want to show you. If we can bring that graphic up, it's our very first graphic there. We've got an event planned here. And you know the Tampa Natives, we don't just put on this show for you each and every week. We like to get together and party. And we've got one coming up on Friday, June the 21st at 7 o'clock right there at Steinbrenner Field. Let's pack the house. Stevie, tell them what they get for $25.
Well, for $25, they get a lot of stuff. I mean, they get it's a game, the party deck, the buffet, the hat, and a Tampa Yankees hat, too.
And a Tampa Yankees hat, free parking, of course.
And all-you-can-eat buffet, right?
All you can eat.
Yeah.
Now,
And they might be chosen for the
Frozen T-shirt contest.
That's
and
right,
if you
which
remember
we were
last
in.
week's show, we had that Frozen T-shirt video, and it's amazing. And Steve's still
hilarious.
smiling from ear to ear because he got that shirt on before I ever did. So listen, we'd love to have you join us.
Yes.
So it's 920-2508. That's our comment line. You can call us on that comment line and say, hey, I want to go. How do I get tickets? And of course, it's on Facebook right now.
We know how to have fun, don't we?
Let's pack the house.
We do.
Let's pack the house.
do.
And this one here, we just had our Mother's Day celebration. Remember over there at
great time.
at Tropicana Field.
Yes.
So if you missed that, this is a chance for you to come out and party with the Tampa Natives. All right. Hey, news from the IT department. There's a new segment we're doing here on the
Very
Tampa Native
exciting.
Show. News from, and we're going to have some sound effects.
little
to go.
ticker tape
yeah,
sound,
next
right? We have to
week
get
we're
that.
going to have that all set up.
I'll have that set up.
Stevie, I'm going to throw it to you now, my man, because you've got some interesting tidbits that you want to share with our viewers.
Absolutely. The IT department is working overdrive today. We have viewers on the web all around the world. We have Hillsborough County television viewers, but internet-wise, we have today, in the last 24 hours, we've had viewers from Bosnia, Serbia, Croatia,
Wow.
the Netherlands, Britain, I mean, all over the place. So it's not just local
That's
here in Tampa.
awesome.
It's all over the world, really. So there's
Worldwide
natives,
implications.
Hello,
We-
Tampa Natives.
There it is right there. Stevie got
There it
a
is.
screen grab so you can see. We're not making this up. Steve can't make this stuff up.
No. Look
I
at
mean,
Well, he
people-
can, but he didn't.
But he wouldn't dare. He wouldn't dare.
These are people that are actually visiting the Tampa Native Show website, tampanativeshow.com, and it just goes
They're
to show
finding
that
us,
we're
Steve.
they're
Yeah.
finding us.
They're finding
We're
us.
out there. And tell me about what you did today.
Well,
on Google.
at Steve's request, I went ahead and I Googled the word natives. Okay, and I thought, well, this is just it's too nebulous. It's too vague. Natives, it's going to how does that apply to us? After the show, not now, stay with us. But after the show, you Google the word natives. We come up fourth on that landing page, the Tampa Native Show. And I'm just talking about using the word natives.
That's
We're
amazing.
right after the Lakota
Yeah.
Indian tribe, which I thought was pretty kind of neat,
Well, they are the actual natives.
They are the actual natives. But we're making inroads. We know that
Yeah.
what we're doing here, and thanks to USF for acknowledging that
Absolutely.
by taking our content and putting it in there with the likes of the Pizzo collection and the Gunsmart collection and the Leland Hawes collection. We feel honored to be able to do this each and every week. So
Yeah.
tonight's going to be one of those special nights. And lastly, before we get to Janet, let me mention also the St. Francis Society Animal Rescue. Why, might you ask, am I mentioning that this evening? Because we spoke with a young lady just this afternoon by the name of Jill, who does amazing work along with her colleagues there at the St. Francis Society for Animal Rescue. And the rumor has it, Stevie, that the little peeps may just be getting a playmate here pretty soon.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So
That is a rumor.
we'll let you know about that as things develop. But we just want you to know that we thank you so much for
Yes.
the wonderful charitable work that you're doing with these animals
Necessary
and getting
work,
them
yeah.
adopted. So thank you, Jill. Thank you so much. All right. We've
good
got our
news.
good stuff covered right up front. Don't forget the 21st. If you'd like to join us, we want to see you at Steinbrenner Field. Without further ado, if you'll bring us up in that 4-shot, Mr. Technical Director Eric Cups, I'd like to introduce everybody to State Representative Janet Cruz, who is Tampa's very own Janet.
Hello.
Janet.
Hello. I'm so happy to be here.
We
This
are
is
happy
this is
you
a
are
lot of
here.
fun
Happy.
for us. You
Thanks.
can't even imagine.
Absolutely.
We should say before we get to the question and answer and all the interrogation that's going to happen forthwith.
Okay, I'm ready.
That don't
No
forget
pressure.
tonight you've got an opportunity to win some prizes here on the Tampa Native Show because we give something away each and every week.
Yeah.
So what are we going to give away in our Bolita drawing? And Janet's going to draw later on tonight
Ooh,
before we
yeah.
get to the end of the show. We're going to win, one winner is going to win a bottle of infused balsamic vinaigrette or cold-pressed olive oil. Delicious,
Absolutely
amazing
delicious,
product
yeah.
from Joe and Sons Olive Oils. Thank you very much, Marilyn Favata Messina, for always being there for us. And so make sure you, if you
And
want to win one of those,
Andrea.
and Andrea as well,
Yes.
and Andrea as well, you got to get in to win, right? So send your Bolita numbers to Steve or call in later when we ask for your calls. Also, one lucky winner tonight is going to win a $10 gift certificate to La Septima Cafe out there in Brandon, courtesy of Ronnie and Dalia Fernandez. Also, one lucky winner tonight is going to win 4 tickets to this Saturday's game at Steinbrenner Field. So the Tampa Yankees are going to be generous and give us 4 tickets there.
How nice.
Lots of things to
That's
win.
great.
Let me also mention at the very, very top.
There's more?
Right off the press, hot off the press, are these new Tampa Native shirts.
that's awesome.
Now, if you are a Tampa native, you need to have this shirt. We only made a dozen or so of these. We do have a few available. So let us know if you'd like one. Call our comment line, 920-250-8813, and let us know, and we'll get you one, okay? All right, we got all that out of the way. Janet,
Now to the
Yes.
good stuff.
now,
Yes.
I've got my questions here.
Oh boy, oh boy.
And I just, because we talked a little bit in pre-production, and I said, Janet, do you want to tell us a little bit so I'll know and I can, and she said, no, Mario, I'm very comfortable with the microphone in front of me. Why don't we just have a conversation?
Yep.
So that's just what we'll do. Janet,
Yes.
where did you grow up?
Well, I was born in Ybor City
There you go.
Okay.
at the Centro Asturiano Hospital.
Very nice.
It was delivered by Dr. Flynn, who I think was a very popular OBGYN in Ybor City at the time.
Okay.
And lived in Ybor City till I was about 8 or 9 years old. We lived with my grandparents on 9th Avenue. And I have some awesome memories of being in Ybor City, just
Yeah.
amazing
Wasn't it a great
memories.
place?
Oh man. I think one of my favorite nights, if you're a Tampa native, you know that Gasparilla is a
yes.
holiday.
Oh, yes, it is.
And,
Celebration.
the night parade is a bigger holiday
Yeah.
if you're
Ybor
from
City.
Ybor City or West Tampa.
Yeah.
So my memories of my parents packing everything up, and they used to have these little parade chairs. You remember these chairs? They were like little slings.
Yes.
And
Oh,
they were
yes.
crossing,
With
but
the
there's no
canvas
back,
seats.
just a canvas seat.
Yes.
So they would pack up all the little canvas seats, and we would go early down to 7th Avenue and prepare for the night parade, because that was our parade.
Yes,
That was the
yeah.
parade that belonged to the Latinos in Tampa.
That's right.
And to me, that was one of the highlights beside Christmas, that was right
Yeah.
up there with
Christmas on Braddock Street.
Oh, Christmas on
That
Braddock
was a
Street.
tradition, wasn't it?
That was the
It
best.
sure was.
Yeah.
It was so magical to be there. I mean, do you remember that police officers would actually pass out candy canes?
I
Sure.
do remember that.
They
They were
passed out
dressed, they
candy
were dressed as
canes.
Santa Claus
Yes.
and pass out
And they
candy.
passed. I mean, can you imagine that would happen today? I mean, that was so incredible. It was so
It was a
amazing.
wonderful
It was a
time.
magical
Yeah,
time
it
in our
really
How
was.
in our
fortunate were we
town.
to have had all of that
We were
to
so
So
ourselves.
lucky. I mean, we would beg our parents to take us every night through the holiday season and take us to Braddock
Christmas card
Street.
lane.
And there was that one house, remember, that you could walk up to on Braddock? That they had the big picture window.
Yeah.
We have a picture of that.
We sure do.
Yeah.
On the Facebook
On our
page, Tampa
Facebook
Natives.
page.
Mhm.
You do?
Facebook page,
And
we
on
sure
our
have.
website.
Oh, I
In
have
fact,
to
I
go
think it's the
look
Lehman
again.
family.
The Lehman?
Lehman,
I think
the
you're
Lehmans.
right. Yeah.
Lima. Lima?
Or Lehman, I believe.
Lehman, okay. It was
L-E-H-E-M, I believe.
Yeah, they put a little train set in the window, and they had all the lights, and it was that one special house, like you said, that everybody always remembered
Oh, my
and looked
God.
forward to seeing.
Had the train in the window and the dolls.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
remember that?
yes.
That's
the
how we
one.
made an arrangement to get Janet on the show this year, because we had the privilege of riding right behind her
We
in the
did.
night parade.
Yes.
Yes.
Angelo
It was fun.
Angelo
It's
Ramora
my
had,
favorite,
had
yeah.
his 1965 Mustang. Was
Mustang.
65, darling? 65
Yes.
Mustang?
65, yeah.
And we looked at the car in front of us, and we saw that there was the little magnetic sign on the side that said State Representative Janet Cruz. So we said, oh, wait a minute.
Let's
so
go
when
there,
Janet
right
got there, we
away.
went over and said hello. And what did she say, darling? Do you remember what she said to us?
I want to be on your show.
When am I going to be
Yeah,
on your
when
show?
am I going to be
Yes.
on the show?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
There you go.
exactly
So
right.
Here it is. But you're right, though. Ybor City, the epicenter of arguably the city's history, where those early settlers that came in. Where did your grandparents come from?
I'm what people would call an Ybor City mutt.
Okay.
Because my abuelo and my abuela are Spaniards.
Okay.
And my nano and nana are Sicilians.
Oh, wow.
So that's why I
Yeah.
call myself a mutt. I'm kind of a Ybor City mutt, because in Ybor City that happened. Oftentimes
Sure,
you have
yes.
the
Yeah.
Sicilian immigrants who fell in love with the Spaniards or the Cubans, and you
Yeah.
had a mixture. So in my house, we had some amazing, amazing food
I can
because
I bet.
imagine.
my
Oh, can you
father
imagine that?
cooked and my mother cooked. It was just wonderful. It was a great time.
And your maiden name was?
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez.
And Janet, what about
Gonzalez.
some of the Sicilian names in your family? What
My
names?
nana was a Pizzo. Her mother was a Gugino.
Oh, wow.
So we're the Guginos and the Pizzos
Classic.
from
I went to
Tampa.
school with the
Classic
Guginos.
Tampa
Yeah.
names.
Sure
Yep.
did.
Yeah.
Yep. And Steve, what is it that you say from time to time when this topic comes up that the Cubans were making? Go ahead and
We always say this a lot about our history back
history.
then. The way it was a confusing time for everybody because you had the Italians making Cuban sandwiches, you had the Cubans making spaghetti, and everybody was drinking café con leche.
That's why,
Isn't that amazing?
that's why I say I'm a mutt. I mean, I'm a
Yeah.
byproduct of all of that, and all of that was in our house. I mean, my mother was a Spaniard. My father's family are Sicilians, but on Christmas Eve, we made the roast pork, black beans, and rice, which is really, I think,
Cuban.
A Cuban
Yeah,
too.
it
but
is.
that
Yeah.
was,
It's Cuban
That
fare.
was Ybor City. That was
Right.
part of the melding of the heritages, and it's
Right.
such an awesome place. I tell people that, what would we be? What we'd just be some other vanilla town.
Right, just a regular
If it
old-
weren't for the immigrants
So
that
true.
came
That's true.
and worked the cigar factories
That's
in Ybor
true.
City.
Yeah.
100%.
If it weren't for them, I mean, what spice and flavor they added to this city.
Yeah.
It's just
Form of
absolutely
culture.
incredible.
Yeah,
It's
it did.
amazing.
It's incumbent upon me to say at this time that that's part of the reason, and I would say a great part of the reason why we are driven to do our show, because that with which Janet is mentioning now, with the passion that's just oozing out of her eyeballs, and I'm sitting this close to her, I can feel it.
She's smiling.
Is the reality of our history.
Yeah.
And those days are past, but not forgotten, certainly. And what we're trying to do here is preserve that, so that in perpetuity, the people that come to our city anew from other places, because we were fortunate, Janet, to have had that with of what you're speaking for probably 60 or 70 years. If you
Yeah.
figure from 1890s to about 1960 or 70, the city was populated organically. In other words, the Gonzalez's married the Martinez's, the Guginos married the Pizzos,
Yep.
so that it all came from within. It wasn't until the 1980s when Mayor Friedman started her campaign for the America's Next Great City,
Yes.
and then of course we got the Buccaneers. So people started to notice us. Up
Right.
until that, we were a stop on the way to Miami, and people would just drive right by us. And I have to be honest with you, I kind of liked it that way.
I like it. Oh yeah.
I kind of
did.
did. I kind of did because we had it to ourselves. We
did.
were spoiled. We were spoiled.
did.
It was
We did. That's
perfect.
true.
And you
That's
you
true.
could
It's
get
so
you could
safe
get from
everywhere.
you could get from Port Tampa,
Yeah,
my love,
yes.
to Carrollwood area,
Yeah.
which was the Boondocks then.
20 minutes?
Yeah.
In 20, maybe.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe not that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see? So we are a little bit biased in our
Yes.
opinions.
Yeah.
But not to take away from the fact that that's why we're doing what we're doing here. And that's why it's so special to have Janet with us, because she can validate all these stories. And she lived that existence as
Yeah.
well. We had Ray Villadonga on us with us about 3 weeks ago. And Ray says, Mario, I'm a product of a mixed marriage. He says, my mother was from Ybor City, my father was from West Tampa.
I love
So
it.
isn't
I
that
love
just,
it.
Isn't that
I
just
love it.
right?
That's
Yeah.
so
You
true.
could- yeah.
It's so true.
Yeah.
So you moved then, remember you said after Ybor
Yeah,
City,
my
where did
parents
you?
were in Ybor City, and then went to West Tampa.
Okay.
Because to us, that was a big move. I mean, that was like moving to the suburbs. Even
Sure.
though,
Oh, yeah.
West Tampa is West Tampa because it's west of the river.
Correct.
And that's where it gets its name from, because it's not really in West Tampa anymore, is it?
Not really.
But because it was west of the river, but to our family, it was a bigger yard. It was like the suburbs, you know,
Yeah.
a house with a big
Yeah,
yard.
sure.
In Ybor City, we had a smaller yard and a
Now you're in a
smaller front
neighborhood, big
yard.
neighborhood.
And now we're in a big neighborhood. And so I was there on New Jersey. And then my parents went through a divorce.
Yeah.
So I spent time in West Tampa with my dad, and my mom moved south of Gandy, so I spent time south of Gandy also. So I saw that picture of Shakey's Pizza
Yes,
Palace.
Oh,
yeah.
did
And
that
it
just
brought
bring
back
back
some
memories?
memories. I thought about across the street from Shakey's was Burger Shack. Does
Yes.
anybody
Yes,
remember the Burger Shack?
absolutely.
And then
Yes.
just if you were a '70s kid like me, you'll remember Big Daddy's
Yes,
nightclub
absolutely,
and the
yes.
Britton Plaza right
All
there.
of that. That was my neighborhood.
Yeah,
I
that was
grew up
some
with all that.
serious memories. But
Yeah.
my memories of West Tampa are, let me tell you something. Subway doesn't have anything on West Tampa,
No.
not a thing. Before sandwich shops were popular, we had, does everybody remember Al's Sandwich
Yep.
Shop
Yeah.
on
Wellswood.
Armenia?
Just a
Yeah.
Wellswood.
Right there as it turned into Wishart
Wishart.
off
Yeah.
Armenia,
Sure.
right
Right.
there, Al's Sandwich Shop. That was my favorite sandwich shop. I loved going there. And then my mother liked the burgers at DePerio's. There was
Oh,
one
yes,
down
yes.
Remember DePerio's?
I love that, yes.
We're
And
we're
then there
across
was-
the street
There
from
was
there.
also the Wellswood Sandwich Shop that was on at the time it was Buffalo, but that
Which
was
we
a
still
popular
refer to
place.
it as, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Buffalo.
I'm
The
sorry.
Buffalo Bridge.
No, if you're from my family, it's like it's not Buffalo, but it's Buffalo,
Buffalo, yeah.
or Hillsborough.
Yeah.
That's
Like
That's
that
our
one.
litmus test for people that are,
That's right.
you know, we don't know if they're, how long they've been here. So we give them that test. We tell them, it's over there off of
Himes and
Armenian Buffalo.
Yeah.
And if they look at you as askant, then we know, then you
Yeah.
must not be from Tampa.
And then there, of course, was the Grand Central that became Kennedy after
Correct.
President
Yes.
Kennedy
Yeah.
drove down it. So
Ila
that was pretty
Michigan, which
exciting.
became Columbus Avenue.
And Janet, do you remember
That's right.
Obie's sandwiches?
Obie's Sandwich
Yes.
Shop, sure
Yeah,
I do.
my father would go
I
buy-
hadn't thought about that
yeah.
for a long time.
Buy 1 or 2 large Cubans and feed the whole family. They were
Yeah.
so thick with the
They were
ham.
amazing.
They
Weren't they
were
great?
awesome.
So you spent a little bit of time in south of Gandy.
South
so
of
for
Gandy.
a period of time, you were a SOG.
I was a
You
SOG.
were a SOG.
I was a
okay.
SOG.
We have, I have family members who were SOGs. I married a NOG,
Yeah.
but she did graduate from Robinson. So and nobody holds that against her in our
Yep.
family. We love her in spite of that.
Yep.
But of course, I would have been a Panther had they not built Jefferson as close as they did to my house, because I
Right.
figured at that point, besides the air conditioning that I was not going to be traumatized with not having air conditioning
No.
in my school, I figured I could get up at 7:15 and still be on time for a 7:30 first period. So, it was so close to my house. And what was interesting about it, and you probably experienced some of this as well when you were at Robinson, we were sort of, I was an exotic while I was at Grady and Coleman because I was a Nunez, and there weren't too many Latinos at either one of those two schools. But when I got to Jefferson, finally, excuse me, I was amongst the Martinezes and the Gonzalezes and the
Brothers and
Fernandezes,
sisters.
so I felt like I was home.
Yeah.
Yo también.
There you go, there you go.
It was the same for me at Robinson. I bet
Yeah.
if there were 3 of us that had Hispanic last names, it was too many.
Right.
But then I always got my West Tampa fix. I had my friends and spent time at McFarland Park rolling down the hill. That was a big,
Oh,
it was
boy.
like when I was a kid, that was a big mountain that my,
Oh,
my
boy.
grandmother
Yeah.
would let us lay and roll down the hill. It was,
And we all had birthday parties there.
all
I mean,
of
we
us.
all it
That was the epicenter of West
yes,
Tampa,
It was
right?
it was a rite of passage.
We had our birthday parties there, and my cake always came from Olympia Bakery.
Okay.
And you had
As opposed
scachata?
to
The
Alessi.
marshmallow and the scachata.
Scachata pizza,
The
right?
marshmallow icing was my favorite. It was the best. And
We
Look at
want,
that
we want
little
you to
darling
comment
right
on this
there.
adorable child
oh,
here.
that's my
Look at those
picture.
curls.
I can't even tell you how old I was, but I do have really curly hair, and I still
Yes.
have really curly hair. I just managed to hide it, but there I am.
It's a great
I am.
picture.
Yeah, it's
I
really
probably
pretty.
am 1.5 or 2 years old
Yeah.
there. I'm not
It's
really
a little
sure.
Shirley Temple-ish.
It is.
Yeah.
a
You know,
little
I-
bit.
Yeah.
we like that.
That
Really
was taken
cute.
at Dee's Photography. Remember Dee's? I think she was in.
Was that one of those
University.
photos that was taken in black and white and then later painted in
Yep,
color?
watercolor.
It kind of looks
over.
like that.
Yeah,
It
that's
has that
exactly
effect.
what it is.
It's
Exactly
beautiful.
it.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
And look at that. Can we
Oh,
talk a
my
little bit about
goodness.
this?
Great
That's
photo.
my, that is my senior picture, my graduation picture.
All right, very nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great photo. Mario, we have 4 emails and two calls. How about we take 2 quick emails?
Please.
And get
Okay.
their belated numbers, and
Great.
And then we'll engage our callers.
Absolutely.
Because I'm sure they want to say hello.
This is
Okay.
from Angelo Ramori. He writes, hey guys, to show you what a devoted fan I am, I went to an early movie today and dinner to get home in time to watch the Tampa Native Show. Yeah.
And you know why,
Angelo.
right?
It's
And you
his
know why,
birthday.
right?
Happy birthday,
Happy
Angelo.
birthday,
He
Angelo.
wanted us
That's right.
to wish him happy birthday.
That's right.
And I
Happy
told him today
birthday.
that I would not do it.
Happy birthday
Happy
to
birthday.
you. Happy birthday to you.
Angelo.
Happy birthday, dear Angelo. Happy birthday to you.
Number 24.
And many more, my good man. That's for you, Angelo.
Belated number 24.
24.
How about- what else you got?
Okay.
Yeah, this is Ricky Rodriguez.
Okay, Ricky.
He writes, wow, Janet hit the nail right on the head. I can't remember what I wore yesterday, but as a child, I remember clearly the night parade in Ybor City. Love you guys. Ricky Rodriguez, Tampa native. Please give me number 13 in the bolita.
Thank you, Ricky. Thanks for that
Thanks,
email. Let's
Ricky.
go to our caller on line
Okay.
4 and start this hit parade. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, this is Jim Carney, calling from West Tampa.
Hey,
Hey,
this is Jim
Jim.
Carney calling from West Tampa, a.k.a. Paco Malo.
That's
How you
it.
doing, Jim?
Yeah.
I was trying to catch the end of the email, and how y'all guys doing tonight?
We're doing,
Doing
great,
great.
Jim.
Thanks for calling.
Representative Cruz, we don't know each other, and I was going to toss you a softball political question, but in the theme that Mario ran, like, no, or that you set up for rehearsal, like, no, we'll just run with it. I ended up at Jesuit, and I ran into a lot of Martinez and Fernandez and Rodriguez and Coton, and a lot of Latin names at Jesuit too. So we had our share, just like Mario and just like you.
You probably felt like you were in the
You
minority.
were the
there.
exotic. Yeah, you were the Carney was the our Carney. You were the exotic one over there.
Now I have no, we had our Irish, and we had a lot of Jewish guys, and even a couple of black guys.
There you go.
Wow.
Some of the smartest guys, in fact.
And you came out in class of 75, correct?
75.
That's right. That's right.
I've got a question about being half Italian and being half Latin, and being Ybor City. As you say, I wouldn't say mutt, but that's the term you use. But you're part of solving the problem of these two groups of people not getting along.
That's right.
Yes,
A generation and maybe one generation back, but before then, because all the way up into the 50s, I've read novels that I think are historically accurate that the Italians just didn't like anybody. The guys who would sit in the basement of the Italian club and run this,
Well, I'll tell you my experience with the Italian side of my family is that they do run a very close-knit, tight operation. So
yes, very well put. There's a politician
they love each other.
there.
And my mother will tell you that that my nana wasn't exactly thrilled that my dad fell in love with a Spanish girl.
I can imagine that there being that. It's like in Godfather 1, where Corleone's in Sicily. Oh, I don't know if this guy's gonna. We might have to kill him. He knows how to be respectful so well. He ends up surviving and marrying Apollonia.
Yeah,
yes.
I want you to know they grew to love my mother, and they loved the 3 grandkids that she gave them. So all is well. So I mean, you can teach an Italian something new every now and then. How about that?
Jim, can we get your number tonight? Is it 44? Is your number 44 your Bolita number?
Oh, no, I'm going with a different Bolita number, but Dory said to run the gamut. I've still got time for a quick answer to this. What's your favorite part of your job as state representative? What you consider the most important?
Good question.
Thanks for asking that question. And what's really important is moving policy. I was the ranking Democrat on ethics and elections, and we made some real reform in elections so that people won't be standing in line and so that their vote will count. So I felt that was
important.
That was really significant. But honestly, I'm going to tell you, Jim, what's really, to me, what's so exciting about the job, and it sounds silly, but you have to know where you came from. And I think about my grandparents and my great-grandparents and my great-great-grandparents who all worked the cigar factories here, who all sacrificed so much for my life to be different.
And for their children, right, everybody's children, to have a better chance.
And so when I walk on the floor of the State House of Representatives, you can only get on the floor if you're a representative. And there are 2 guards that stand at the outer doors and 2 guards that stand at the inner door. And those doors open up for you, and they're trained to recognize you as a representative.
Sure.
And every time they open those doors and I walk on the floor and I realize how privileged I am and I think about the people that I represent, I honestly still get cold chills every time I walk on the floor because I realize the job that I have to represent the folks of West Tampa, Egypt Lake, Carver City.
So you bring not only your constituency, but their ancestors and their values.
And
well, that comes down to Mario's question, which is, and he's like me in this, it's our pet peeve. Is it Tampa or Tampa Bay?
Oh,
it's Tampa.
You know it is. You know it is. And we love you. And we love you. And your time is just about up.
Hey,
my number's 39.
39
tonight. Jimmy, thank you.
Thanks,
your questions are always wonderful, insightful, and very thought-provoking. And we appreciate you.
Buona notte.
Buona notte.
Buona notte.
Bye, Jim.
When we had Jack Espinosa on the show, he mentioned that, that it was his generation, because he was the second group from the descendants of the original early settlers, that ultimately went to school together. And by the time everybody got to Jefferson, Hillsborough, especially Jefferson because it was the Ybor City amalgam, that the kids started to fall in love with each other. So that the Sicilians and the Spanish and the Cuban, everybody started to intermingle. But up until then, it was everybody kind of kept to themselves a little bit because I'm assuming everybody was competing for the same slice of the pie. So in economic terms, it was kind of tough. But he also mentioned the fact that the Sicilians didn't like anybody. They didn't get along with anybody. They just, and that's what, to your point, they just kind of.
Why is that?
Well, I think, I don't know, I'm theory.
I don't know, but I'll tell you a story that I heard ages ago, and take it for what it's worth. I don't base it on any real evidence, but this is what I was told. I was told that early on, the Cuban cigar factory owners and the Spanish cigar factory owners were a little bit intimidated by the Sicilians and the Italians, so they wanted to keep them out of management. They wouldn't let them. And so the Italians and the Sicilians said, the heck with you guys, that gesture they made.
Yeah. Something about Van Gogh or Van Gogh.
And they became the merchants of Ybor City. They were the grocery store, the produce. They became the merchants.
Bakers.
And if you remember, the Greco family was the Cash and Carry family.
I worked there.
And the Agliano and Sons, they became the merchants of Ybor City.
fed us.
And the Italians ended up doing very, very well for themselves there in Ybor City. So I don't know if it's a true story, but some of it maybe.
It does sound.
story.
It does sound accurate, though.
Yeah, it does.
Well, they were a rough group too. I mean, the Sicilians that I remember, they were from Sicily. They were from hardscrabble towns in Sicily. So they came over here. They were kind of rough and tumble, and maybe that lent itself to that intimidation thing. They even looked probably, even though they may not have been mean, but they may have projected that.
Well, they
as
came
an
from some
image.
tough times too. That's why they came here.
Of course.
Some of what I read told me that some of the Sicilians, the early Sicilians, were going down to South Florida working in the sugarcane fields.
Right.
And so there was this opportunity to come to Tampa and wear a shirt and a tie and a
Get out in the
Panama
sun.
hat
Get out in the sun.
and sit and make cigars. So there was quickly a diversion to our city, and thank God they came here.
Oh my goodness!
Have you ever talked to Joe Caltagirone at the Italian Club?
No.
He's an amazing wealth of
Historian?
information.
Really?
Historian.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's all in his head. It's not written down anywhere.
Really?
Yes, but he does lectures and speeches at
You should
universities.
spend some time with him, Stevie, and write some of that stuff
Amazing,
down. Take a
amazing
recorder
history.
with you and let him just talk into that.
You would love talking to him. I should do that.
You
Yeah.
should.
Yeah.
I will do that.
Let's go to caller on
Let's
line
do it.
4. On line 5, excuse me. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hey guys, it's David Benito calling.
Well, hello,
Hi,
Mr.
David.
Benito. How are
David.
you?
Very good, very good. Great show today.
Thank you.
Thanks.
One thing that it's always a topic for the Tampa Native Show, but that Representative Cruz Rifkin brought up so eloquently is that something that I think is so unique to Tampa, and more to the point to Ybor City, is that while other big metropolises have the Cubans in one section, the Italians in another section, the Germans in another section, all those different people were in one area, in one relatively small area of the city,
Right.
in the boom of the cigar industry, and that's what makes Tampa so rare and so unique. Sure, each one had they had the German club, the Italian club,
Right.
the Espanol and the Estoniano, but other than that, it was so unique that there was such a mix, a melting pot of all different nationalities and heritages that we're able to share. You brought it up. I've done Noche Buena since for 45 years, but I'm Spanish, but it's Cuban.
Right?
Yeah, no, we're all mixed up,
That's
man.
what we do. We are.
Don't you remember when we were in grade school, and I'm a little bit older than you, Davian, but don't you remember the thing we used to do, and forgive me, I'm not trying to be politically incorrect here, but it was like, okay, remember this one, guys? My mother's Chinese, my father's Japanese, and I'm all mixed up. Remember that one? We used to tell that one in school, man, and that was our upbringing. But believe me, it tells the story of our city. Janet is a living embodiment of that. I'm more Cuban-centric. Stevie's more Sicilian, but Janet is that amalgam. She's from that mix of people.
Yep.
So, and from that comes creativity. From that comes
Culture.
wonderful culture and art and food and music. And we have to acknowledge the fact that Tampa's story is as unique as any in the United States of America. I'm not talking about, I'm not trying to be self-serving here when I say that, Janet, back me up. but our story is that unique.
I think it is. I think that people that you talk to that come from other cities, they felt a different kind of prejudice toward the Latino or the Italian or the Spaniards. I don't think that we felt it the same way in this town. I think that we're a town kind of like New Orleans that was accepting,
Yes.
More accepting,
and
right.
caring,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
loving. We had an amazing community that revered the history in Ybor
Yeah.
City. I mean,
And
Ybor City is a sacred ground for all of us.
It is sacred ground for all of us.
So true.
Dave,
So incredible is the social services that the clubs provided that
oh yeah,
in the current political climate, I don't want to get too much of the political stuff.
we won't let you.
Current political climate could not be done now. I mean, you pay,
No.
you pay what at that time was a little bit much for monthly dues for these clubs, and it was a hospital, was a
Oh, it was cradle to
That's
grave.
right.
It was
And it
cradle to
worked
grave.
perfectly,
And it
oh,
worked,
by the way.
and cradle to grave services. We want to clear the line, Davian, so we can get other callers. But listen, we love you. We appreciate you calling.
Yes,
and,
great
and
call.
you, like
Thank you.
Jim, man.
What's your number?
What's your bolita number? Look at.
There she goes.
She just got here. She's already.
got it.
She's picked it up.
46.
46 it is.
46.
Davian, thank you so much, and come with us on the 21st, man. It's baseball.
Oh yeah, we have a blast of those games.
Bring your glove.
Okay.
21st. We'll see you soon.
Guys.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
That is what I was going to say. It just escaped me.
About the unique culture.
About the unique culture. Okay, and thank you, Stevie, for bringing me back. We talk about the Italian, the Sicilian, we talk about the Cuban, we talk about this Espanol. You have to give a tip of the cap to the Jewish community that was here, that, just like the Italians fed us and built our buildings, the Jewish mercantile, they clothed us.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
they managed our
Right.
banking
They sure did.
affairs. So,
Right.
you had to have somebody in there that was managing the money, because as Mayor Bob Buckhorn will tell you, there's a lot of different components to making a city vibrant and thrive. And we had all of those back in those days.
Sure, we had the Buckman's department store. The Buckman family is still around.
Yes.
Great people that give a lot back to the city of Tampa. They're wonderful. And
Well, just
Press-
go up and
press,
down 7th Avenue and look at the
Yeah.
names
That's
on
right.
top of those
brownies
buildings.
and
Look at the names on top of those
Yeah.
buildings, and you'll see that there's the Leibowitz, I believe, there's Stein, there's Buckman. You just have to acknowledge the fact that we were all here together, man, to try to carve out a life for ourselves.
Yeah.
And we did it, and we did pretty good at it.
Well,
Sure did.
we refer to that term a lot on the show, our unique history and culture. We do it in a lot of our writings as well. But I think why it's so unique for us is the fact that our ancestors were directly involved in formulating that unique culture.
Yeah.
When they immigrated from the late 1800s
They brought it with
to
them.
1920s.
They
right.
brought it with them. And the
So
societies
we're
that-
directly connected to that.
The societies that Davian was talking about, man, they worked so well back then.
Yeah.
Why
Mhm.
couldn't they work well again?
Right.
They could.
Yeah,
They
you're
could.
right.
They
They
just
could.
You're
But
right.
we're not
Won't
going to
let
get
it
too
be.
political tonight, because I've got a list of questions here that I want to ask.
Okay.
And one of the
Okay.
questions was, I'm going to put on my glasses so I can see. Oh, there it is. Who were your childhood pals?
one of my best friends was a girl named Tootsie.
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 Tootsie. Goodbye.
Tootsie. She was a redhead with freckles all over her, all over the place. She was from Mississippi.
Oh, wow.
And how they ended up in our neighborhood, I'll never know. But her mother used to make cornbread in a frying pan.
Oh, yes.
She didn't even measure it. She just pour in this and that and the other. And these were flavors that were foreign to me.
Of
I mean,
course, this is
this
Southern
woman
cooking
made
now.
cornbread, and she made pinto beans, and they boiled peanuts on the stove.
Oh,
Wow.
yes, yeah.
And it was some of the most, such different flavors
Sure.
from what I grew up in, because in my house it was
Spanish
arroz.
It was garlic.
or Italian.
It was garlic.
Olive oil.
And then you looked in there and you found some more garlic. It was-
Exactly. And there was
Sofrito, there was a
there
little
was rice or pasta on
Rice.
the on the
Correct.
stove every night. It
Correct.
was one of the two with something. But
Some kind of bean.
so it was Tootsie. She was my best
Oh,
friend.
that's wonderful. Let's see who's on line 4. We've got caller. You're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Jean Carroll.
I'm sorry, did you
Hey,
say your
Jean
name
Carroll.
was?
Is this Jean Carroll Longo?
Jean Carroll Longo.
Hey,
and Lenny.
Jean Carroll.
First-time
Jean
caller.
Carroll Longo, you're a first-time caller, aren't you?
Yes,
Well, that bell ring was just for you, darling. How are you tonight?
we're doing really well.
Listen, say hello to your longtime friend. She's got
Oh,
a smile. She can't
Hey,
look at that
Jean.
smile.
It's so nice to hear your voice. How are you?
I'm doing good, Janet. How are you?
Good. Tell me some West Tampa memories that you have.
Well, that's where I met Lenny.
You met your husband
And Lenny's
there?
on the phone, too.
Hey, Lenny.
Hi, Janet.
The Longo family been around for a long time.
Well,
Good
happening.
family.
Yes.
Welcome in.
Yes.
Should I let everybody peek behind the curtain for a minute, Jean Carroll, and let everybody know that we talked today and I set this up?
No.
We
That's
kind of did.
funny.
Spoiler.
I know. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
I just wanted to make sure because Jean Carroll and I are talking about another business on the side. But then I told her, I said, listen, we're having Janet Cruz on the show tonight. Why don't you look in? And that's when she said, oh my gosh, I've known Janet my whole life.
Yeah,
So
forever.
you guys talk it out.
Forever.
Well, Janet and I know each other from back in the Jackie's Dance Studio days.
That's right.
there
Remember
you go.
Jackie's Dance
Remember that?
Studio? That's right.
Yeah.
I took my
God.
daughter there for
my daughter
dance
was
lessons.
3
and
and
that's
her daughter was, I think, 4. They
Yep.
taking dancing together,
Yep.
and we became fast friends at that point. And we just, I mean, for years, we were at Jackie's Dance Studio.
That's
and
right.
had a great time.
Yeah, Jean Carroll. Those are good memories. And, you know, that daughter of mine that was 4 or 5 then is 40 now. So that's how long ago it was.
And that's
my
how
gosh.
fast.
Time
That's how
flies.
fast it goes.
And
Time
mine
flies.
is 39, and my son is 41.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
I
That's
know,
amazing.
and they all grew up with all that same Spanish and Italian flair. Believe me.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you guys must have started when you were like 12 or something, huh? What's
No,
going on
really.
there?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We were like 12 years old when we got married. And a couple years later, we had our kids.
Child
That's right.
bride.
Wow, I thought
exactly
that
right.
was typically a Southern thing, but apparently
Yeah.
no, it did happen in the Latino families too, huh?
Yeah.
course.
Jean Carroll, you went to Jefferson?
I went to Jefferson, graduated in '67,
Yeah.
and I have the pleasure of being the president of the Jefferson Alumni Association.
Oh, that's so nice.
a lot of work with them.
My second job was at the Montgomery Wards, right there, Jean Carroll, by
Oh my
your
God,
mom's
that's
house.
my old stomping ground.
Monkey
Yeah.
Wards.
Ours too.
Monkey Wards.
Monkey Wards.
My parents lived about 2 blocks north of
I
that.
remember going to your mom's house right there,
And
close
she still
by.
lives there, too.
She's still there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Imagine. She's been in that house about 60 years now.
Wow.
Jean Carroll, did you ever go see the Rockers?
Well, I went once to the Rockers because I was a little bit too young.
Yeah, me
go.
too. But all my friends talk about it all the time, and I go to it now. But it was really something.
There was a guy that played on the Rockers. I think he may still do something with the Rockers. A fellow by the name of Vonelio Ochoa. Does that name sound familiar to anybody?
Oh, yes.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I just thought I'd throw his name out there for whatever
Our
reason.
neighbor down the street, about a block, not even, when I used to live in West Tampa.
Yep, he lived right across the street from my abuela, so I've known him since I was a wee little guy, and his wife Irene and the girls. So I'm just so happy you called tonight, Jean Carroll. And I'm glad you took the time to pick up the phone, and Lenny, you're on there too. And we want to get both of your Bolita numbers because
That's right.
we're giving
Yes.
stuff away here, man. We do that on the Tampa Native Show.
From 1 to 75.
Well, Lenny, what number you want?
14.
14.
Lenny's got 14. How
That's
about
a good
yourself?
number, Lenny.
I think I'm going to take 49.
All right, 49 it
49
is.
Strategy there.
Let's see.
That's your age, Jean Carroll?
Well, add a few more years.
There you go. Thank you guys for
Age
calling
is
so
just
much.
a number.
We appreciate it. We're here every Thursday. Please do look in on us, and we hope that we'll earn your trust, and you'll come
right.
back and call us again.
Definitely.
We will. We enjoyed the show.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Lenny.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye, you all.
Was,
Bye-bye.
was Jackie's studio by the Cash and Carry?
Yeah, it was right
Yeah,
there.
right
Yep.
there, right
Yep.
there.
Okay, we pass it every Saturday.
Yep.
Hey, got a couple more emails here. You wanna read
Please,
them quick?
speak up.
We
We
have
need those
time?
Bolita numbers. Look at
Okay.
the time already.
It's getting
Flying.
close.
Oh,
Mike,
no,
see,
I
How
Mike-
don't
fast
wanna
it
go.
goes.
This is
The
from Mike
fastest
Beluha.
60
Mike
minutes. in-
Beluha.
Mike Bluhoff, the singer of the song.
Mike
our intro.
Beluha.
And the writer.
Mike,
Yeah.
call in. We
Great
got a
song.
line open.
Yeah, definitely. He writes,
Great song.
it was a pleasure meeting you at the Sons of Italy last night,
Yeah.
Janet. When I was about to leave, I almost approached you again to tell you about the Tampa Native Show and to suggest the possibility of you making a guest appearance. Little did I
Imagine
know.
that.
little
Here
did
I am.
There she is. Little did I know that my three amigos beat me to the punch. Great to have you sharing your story with us this evening. And his number is 3,
3.
and Cindy's is 18.
Okay.
3 and 18.
And also we have two more Bolita numbers.
Okay.
It's Alyssa Governale,
Sure.
number 14.
Big Rays fan.
And I have to get you
14's
your
taken.
shirt, by the way,
Yeah,
Alyssa.
14
Steve will
is
have
taken.
that
Put her there
Yeah,
and they'll
by
split
July
it.
4th or
Well, I think so.
Halloween.
And we have one from Dale Kimball.
Oh, Dale. Okay, good.
I'm
And
gonna
he
give,
writes-
what number does Cindy, she wanted 14?
Oh, 14 for
We're
Alyssa.
going to give you 15, Cindy, because 14's taken.
Okay.
Okay. And 56 for Dale Kimball.
Dale Kimball called us last week.
56.
Yeah, thanks
Oh,
for
yes.
watching again,
Thank you,
Dale.
guys.
Thanks for watching. Okay, so before we get to the 15-minute grill mark, let me ask another quick question here because I've got a whole battery of
Okay.
questions. And it's not a political question, but it is kind of a question. How did you come to politics, and And were you ever a class representative, or did you have any of those experiences?
I
Student
was.
council
I was.
president?
I wasn't.
Student
I was
council.
never president, but I was a representative, and
Okay.
I enjoyed government. But I was more into, like, I was on the pep squad and stuff like that. Politics came to me later. I am an optician by profession, and I used to own a Pearl Vision Center franchise in East Lake Mall. Anybody remember East Lake
Sure
Mall?
do.
course.
Yeah.
That's where I saw The Exorcist.
So I was.
Heck of a memory.
I was there, and I sold my store and had some time on my hands. And Sandy Friedman was running for mayor. She'd been appointed, so she was up for re-election. And I went in and volunteered. And in her office was this young guy named Bob Buckhorn.
Oh.
Well,
my.
throw that picture up there again, that last picture, Eric, while we're talking about this story. Go ahead, please. I'm sorry to interrupt
So
you.
in the
but
office,
there
was,
he
oh
is.
gosh, I look pretty pitiful there. But Bob, you look great. And in the office was a young Bob Buckhorn who was running Mayor Sandy's race. He had taken leave from the city to run her race. So I walked in and volunteered, and Sandy had a big win. And I promised Bob, I said, someday you're going to run for office, and I'm going to run your campaign. And he surely took me up on that offer, and he ran for office a couple times, and a couple times I was his campaign manager. That was my start into politics. I never thought that I would hold office. I always thought that I would put other people in office.
Right. You enjoyed running campaigns and the energy and all, but you never thought of
And
yourself.
I was always in awe of the Elvin Martinez who held this seat before me.
Sure.
The Bob Henriquez who had this seat.
Yes.
And then Michael Shanti had this seat, and he was appointed to a big position in the Pentagon. And so he had to vacate this seat. So that meant that it was a special election. And by special election, it was only a 2-month campaign cycle. And this is my love. I mean, this is my, my people. Here I am in the heart of where I am, representing home. I couldn't think of anything I'd rather do.
Oh, wonderful.
And so it was District 58 then. It's District 62 now, but it was District 58, and I won by 58 votes.
Wow. What a,
So if you think your vote doesn't count,
It does.
it
Absolutely
counts.
It
Believe
does.
me, your vote
It
counts.
58
So thank
votes.
you, those 58 people that put me over the top. I appreciate it very much. I have very much enjoyed representing our community in Tallahassee. I love what I'm doing, and I really love being there. And I always remember my roots and where I came from when I cast my votes. I really do.
We're very fortunate to have you.
And we're
in
very
that seat
proud
as
of
well.
Thank you very much.
Great
And all your
story, too.
work.
Thanks.
Well, everyone, it's almost time to say goodbye
Oh, no.
to our Tampa native friends. And we would like to thank you all for kindly dropping in. It's
Come on, baby. Back next week.
You're all invited back next week to this locality to have a heaping helping of our hospitality, Tampa native style. Y'all come back now, you hear?
There you go.
this has been a Filmways
I had an
presentation.
instant.
Yeah. No, it happens from time to time. But she had a little cheat sheet right here in front of her. So just look down, baby, when it gets down to it. Just look down. Don't feel bad about that, because I got to do the same thing myself. You know, we're very fortunate to have you in that seat as well, Janet, because
Thank you.
I think one thing, we had Rodney Justo here on the show a couple weeks back, and we met him the other day for coffee, and we were talking. And I think one thing that we all share as Tampeños, as those that are natives from Tampa and descendants of those great early settlers, is a sense of humility and a sense of who we are, being that we know where we came from. And, you know, we were always, as kids, terribly excited when one of us made it, whether it was Al Lopez, who was the first to crack into the major leagues, or Rick Caceres, who was the first to play in the NFL. And you know, when one of us made it, you know, I can remember how excited we were when
Such pride.
we saw Mark Biro announcing for Showtime or LSE Promotions, and he's in the ring and he's announcing a major fight. It was just one of us.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
but you know, you talk to Lou Piniella today, and Lou's just Lou Piniella.
Yeah.
You know, he's from West Tampa, and it shines through. And we feel that with you as well.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
So
Thanks a
we
lot.
only wish for you much more success and reach for as far as you want to go, and we'll help you get there.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you very
welcome.
much.
You're welcome.
You know,
Time to
Janet,
pick the bolita ball?
Almost.
we
Ooh.
have a little time still, I think, don't we?
Yeah, we got a few
Yeah,
minutes,
we
so,
do.
and we've got lines open. We've got about 8 minutes, and we'll get to the Bolita drawing in just
Any
a
more
couple of minutes.
emails?
So 813-977-6800 if you want to make a last comment real quick.
And I have a question too, Janet.
Okay.
Last week's show was all about nicknames.
Oh,
It was
my.
kind of predominantly West Tampa, but in general, nicknames that people had growing up as a kid or in adult life. But did you have a nickname growing up in Tampa?
Not really. My father called me Pumpkin.
Oh,
Okay.
And most people call me, for Janet Cruz, they call me JC. So I
okay.
like that a lot.
Yeah,
too.
I
like that, too.
I do
I
like
like
that.
it.
And I don't know
That's
what
my
the
nickname.
protocol is on that as far as, when you're addressing your state representative. But off camera, I think I'll call you JC from now on, too.
Please call me JC.
I kind of
it.
like that. It's easy. It's easy
Yeah.
to
It
remember.
is, yeah.
And it's kind of fun. But Stevie, we as happens with us on the show every week, man, we race through a show and we try to do as much as we possibly can, and it
flies
doesn't
by.
matter. That clock gets us at the end of the show each
Every
and
time.
every time. We want to extend the invitation to you, Jenna. We know your schedule is busy, and we know you beat a path between here and Tallahassee constantly. But if the opportunity avails itself and there's something pressing that you want to talk about, and it could be an issue. It could be
Okay.
an issue that affects your constituents. Know that you have this platform available to you anytime. Typically, the show is not a political show. It's not a policy show. We don't typically do that. But you're one of us, and we feel a connection here that we need to make sure that if you need to get a message out and you can't be here in person, send a video.
Okay.
We'll show the video.
Good.
Send us an email. We'll read the email.
Okay.
If it's of importance to you and it's of importance to us and your constituents in Tampa, we want to make sure that everybody knows about it.
Well, one event that I want to tell you about very quickly is one that I'm quite dedicated to. It's my 4th annual job fair. It's June 30th from 10 to 2. It's at Higgins Hall over at St. Lawrence.
Sure.
Last year we had 1,000 people that came looking for jobs. This is my commitment to our community. I promised when I was running for office that I would do more to help people find jobs, because it was the #1 thing that people asked me for. They said, Janet, my son needs a job, my husband needs a job, my cousin's out of work. So it's a job fair June 30th from 10 to 2. If you know anyone that needs a job, please tell them to come by. If you want to volunteer, come by and help me out.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
The
Thanks.
Tampa Native Show will be there.
Is there a
Great.
website for that at all?
You can go to my Facebook page, which is Janet Cruz,
Okay.
and the information is there.
Perfect.
Great.
Excellent.
We'll
How
put that
many
on
minutes do we
Facebook,
have
too.
left, Mr. Eric? 6 minutes. Okay, we'll draw a couple of winners here in just a couple of seconds.
Any more announcements?
Literally a couple of seconds. Any more announcements? Mario, do you have any more announcements? Only, well, I'll say this now because we usually run out of time at the end and then we're flying to get out of here. I'll say it early on. Congratulations to all those Hillsborough County seniors who made it out and who are
Yeah.
graduating now at the end of this week. Congratulations, one and all. I know how special that was, a time in our lives when we finally received that diploma and we were able to push that tassel over to the other side of our hat. So congratulations, one and all. Also, just here's your PSA, your public service announcement. Be aware that on June the 1st, it's the start of another hurricane season. So as we don't have our Tampa's very own Andy Johnson anymore to keep us out of harm's way, we'll defer to the guy with the suspenders because we like Dennis Phillips. And nobody's more wonky at following those kinds of things. The guy stays up 24 hours for days on end if there's
does.
anything going on to let us know
He does.
to be careful.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
all of you guys, this is a good time to check those batteries to make sure the batteries are working.
And you know what? We may get another call from Roy Leap.
And we hope we do.
Never
We'll
know.
reach out to Roy.
You never
All right.
know.
You got your numbers, my love?
Yeah.
Are you ready to go? We're going to pull 4 different numbers, correct? Or 3? 3? 3?
3 numbers
3 numbers,
3.
one at a time.
down to the bottom of the bag.
And her eyes are closed just in case. All
to
right.
make sure.
The first number
Uh-oh.
here
This might
is
be-
wow. He changed his number today because he wanted to go with a different number.
Jim
But we
Carney.
pulled
Jim
Carney.
44, didn't we?
44.
So it's 43, 40. No, it's 43, 42, 41. Stevie,
Closest to?
help out.
Closest to without going
going over.
Let's see.
It's
It's Jim.
39. Jim
Oh, it's Jim
Carney.
again.
He
Well,
wins
Jim
anyway.
Carney.
Jim. Good job, Jim.
You got to find your way over to Joe and Sons because there's a 200 milliliter bottle of infused balsamic vinegar or cold
With his
pressed
name
olive
on it.
oil waiting for you with your name on it, okay?
Great.
You can drink that right out of the bottle, okay? Jim, you won, even though you didn't have 44. Here we go.
It was meant to be.
Our second lucky winner. This is for a $10 gift certificate to La Septima Cafe in Brandon.
That's
Double sticks.
Yeah. 11.
1-1.
Anything below
Without
11?
going over, that would be
There it
Mike
is.
Baluha.
Congratulations.
Mr.
Mike.
Baluha.
He wins.
Good job,
Put some
Mike.
gas in the tank, Papa. You're going out to La Septima Cafe. And this,
And you will love
and
it.
you'll love it. You will love it. And this is for 4 tickets to this Saturday's Tampa Yankees game. courtesy of Miss Janet
46.
Cruz. 46.
Higher
That's
numbers
pretty close.
again. Oh, right on the money.
David Benito.
Davian
Benito.
Benito.
He's the luckiest
Yay,
guy,
David.
isn't he?
He cannot help himself. He and the Tampa Yankees have a thing going. We're going to get you to do the frozen T-shirt contest this week, David, because I want to pay good money to see you try to get into that shirt.
You versus him.
It's not easy. No, you versus
No, it's
him. I think
not
I hurt
easy.
my shoulder trying to get into that last time.
Here.
That was hard.
Janet, is there anything that you might like to say to our... Look right into camera number one and tell them something about your experience on the show. Tell them how much we...
I completely enjoyed this hour flew by. The Tampa Native Show is amazing. It's a wonderful way to reminisce and think about probably the happiest times of my life, and those times growing up in West Tampa and Ybor City. I know there are great times to come, but it's wonderful to take a peek into the past. Thanks.
Thank you, Janet. Thank
You're
you for
welcome.
that.
And we do that each week.
We
Yes.
love our show. We love what we do, and we're going to keep doing it as long as these doors are open and these
Yes.
lights are on.
That's true.
And if that doesn't happen, why, we're not even going to think about that. So we
We'll
like
just sit out on the street and talk about
to
Tampa.
talk about
Yeah.
Tampa and invite
Yeah.
y'all to come sit with us. Thanks for being here, Janet.
Happy to
Thank
be
you.
here.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
guys very much.
We just,
You made it
just
so
scratched
wonderful.
the surface. You know, we didn't really. We got it next time. Maybe we'll drill down a little further
Okay.
and ask some more questions.
Love to
about-
have you back.
About like
Okay.
what was your favorite? What playground did you attend when you were a kid? Go ahead, quick, tell us that. One.
Well, I would have to say.
What was your kindergarten playground? That picture that we didn't get a chance to see.
Giddens
Yeah.
Playground.
Giddens
I went
Playground.
to Giddens Playground, the school, and Miss Malone was the head teacher.
Yes, she was the head teacher,
but
right?
she
Did
was,
you have a swimming pool there? Did they teach you how to swim
no,
there as well?
excuse me, but I'm a Cascaden Park girl.
There you go.
There you go.
Excuse me,
Okay.
Cascaden Park is where I learned to swim.
We had a pool at North Hubert, and they taught. The Red Cross came in and taught us. It was amazing. But those days were just special.
Yeah.
CTRD, City of Tampa
Yeah,
Recreation.
everybody
had
Department.
one.
Those
They were
letters
great.
mean so much to us.
We did a
Yeah.
full show on that, CTRD.
Just
Yeah.
1 minute
Really?
ago.
Nice.
Well, Janet, we hope your experience here has been.
It's been
All that
terrific.
you
This is a
expected.
wonderful show, and I want to thank you guys for making it so comfortable
Well, thank you.
and making the stroll down memory lane so amazing. Thanks.
We'll continue to do it. We promise.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On behalf of Eric Cups, who's in there, we don't have a camera trained on you guys tonight, so we can't.
Oh, darn.
Well, they're waving. Just take my word for it. They're waving.
They're in
They're doing
there.
And
this.
hello, Dory,
They're
who is
doing this.
indispensable answering
Yes,
the phones.
she is.
She is that lovely voice that you hear when you call, telling you to please hold on,
Doing
be
such a
patient.
great job.
You're on
She's
next,
a
right
trooper,
after
too.
Davian Benito. So thank you, Dory. We love you. Thanks for coming in
Yeah.
each and every week. That's Tampa Steve. This is the 15-minute girl.
Who messed up her song?
That's,
it's a
that's
little
our
bit.
new best friend, JC, otherwise known as State Representative
Yeah.
Janet Cruz.
Thanks.
I'm Mario Nunez. Salud.
And
Janet,
happy
how's that?
days.
Salud and
Salud.
happy days. We love
Happy
you,
days.
Tampa.
Yes, we do.
See you next week.
Back when we were younger and everything seemed new, we used to have a lot of fun, yes we did, no matter what we do. Sleepy days, long summer nights, going anywhere we please, with love that I could call my own, love that I've always known, the city that I call my home, a home from which I never roam. This love affair was meant to be. I love her and she loves me. I remember Tampa, oh, she remembers me. She remembers me. I remember, yeah, yes I do. Oh, oh, I remember, yeah, me and you. I'm a Tampa native, Tampa native, can't you see? I will share my story with you to preserve its history.
All right now, don't forget, Thursdays, 7 p.m. on TBCN, home of the Tampa Native Show.